okay. And I plan on making it really quick because they got me seeing so many families right now that are requesting the benefits just like you. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up, okay? So tell me, while I get this set up, how long you lived in Houston?
About a year.
About a year. That's not too long. Where are you from?
Georgia.
Georgia? Wow, that's a long way from home. You must have had a good reason to come.
Yeah, for work.
For work? What do you do for work?
I'm in the financial services industry.
I always wonder what that's like. What is that like?
We help people protect their most important assets, long hours, but pretty good money. Yeah, nice. Great opportunity.
You enjoy it?
I do.
What do you enjoy the most about it?
The money.
The money?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something that I could see you not enjoying. Do you have close coworkers?
Yeah, pretty close.
Are you like the guy they rely on whenever they're out of work? They got to call you, call in, say, hey, cover for me?
Yeah, I know about all that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What about your wife and kids?
Mary, she's here, right? A little quiet, but she stays home with the kids.
What are your kids' names?
Liam, Lucas, and Liliana.
The 3 L's.
Yeah.
Those are awesome names. Anyways, John, just a little bit about me. I've been doing this for a long time, and look, I really like to help people. It's something that's very important to me. It's one of the main reasons why I do this. And I just want to let you know today, I'm going to be very transparent. I'm going to be very honest, and I'm going to try to make it really quick. So I just want to make sure I do my best. And you'll see really, really quick by the end of this that I'm super passionate and I take what I do very serious. Okay, so is it okay with you if I give you the quick version?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, perfect. And just real quick, what was your date of birth?
April 30th, 1996.
Perfect. Let me get this set up. Okay. Well, in case you just didn't know, John, American Income, we're a subsidiary of Globe Life Inc., which I'm sure you've probably heard of before, since we have the naming rights to the stadium where the Texas Rangers play. Are you a baseball fan?
Not really.
Not really. I'm not either. But I'm sure you've heard of the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Yeah, of course.
You're not a Cowboys fan, are you?
No.
Okay. Good. We're starting off to a good start. Just wanted to make sure. Anyways, we work with over 20,000 different unions, associations, and credit unions. Groups like teachers, firefighters, police officers, and veterans. And those groups, those types of people, they make up more than 2 million policyholders with our company. So I'm sorry if it's taken so long. It's just with everything going on with like COVID and all the other crazy stuff in the world, we've had a crazy, overwhelming amount of responses to the benefits, just like you did. So basically, it boils down to 2 things, John. I'm going to do 2 things with you guys today. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over your child safe ID kits that you had requested for the kids, along with some other no-cost benefits that have already been set up. Then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a member survey that we do with all the families and basically ask you a series of questions that will let us know if you have any concerns in your current situation. And if it makes recommendations, if you qualify, you might have access to the same benefits that those exclusive groups we work through get. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so the first one is the child safe kit, John. Now, look, I'm sure you know people with kids, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, they had me play this very important video that explains why this is so important for your kids. So I'm going to play that real quick, but I promise you I'm not going to play any other videos after that. Is that fair?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sorry, guys, my computer's pausing. By the way, I'm running 2 monitors right now, but it's probably best that you don't. Just in my opinion.
I agree.
So I would share the screen.
You've had that feeling.
Play the video.
You took your eyes off your child for just a moment to answer a phone. Then you couldn't find them.
I will bet money nobody on this call can sell the child safe kit better than this lady on this video. Okay? That's why you want to play the video. Also, did you notice how I warmed him up? Like, I let him know, I'm not going to make you watch a bunch of videos, but this video is important. Can I play the video?
Your stomach sank. Your heart nearly stopped. You began to panic.
Here's another reason why I play the video. Here's another reason why I play the video. Do you think if I wasn't legit, I would make something this legit just to make you think that I'm legit? No, I wouldn't.
There they were, running back to you, safe and sound. But what if you hadn't been so lucky? According to the FBI, acting quickly about your child, so authorities can help find your child.
Okay. Do you see this little button that says add referrals? Do you guys know you could put referrals in there? Okay, so this is where the 2017 presentation comes in, because what you can do is if you want to, you can use the verbiage from that. Because the verbiage says on the child safe kit, hey, John, every time, you turn on the news, what are you hearing about? Human trafficking, kidnapping, kids running away. So I would use that verbiage if it's a child safe kit presentation. This is where the common sense has to come in. Use your common sense. Because I might want to elaborate a little bit more on the child safe kit by using that verbiage since we're in child safe kit sit. John, could you imagine if Liam and Lucas were one of those kids on there that they were talking about being missing? Like, think about the feeling you would have and how crazy that would be. I'm sure you're just like most families that I see. You probably want everyone that has kids to have these kits too, right?
Of course.
Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this referral button down here, and we're going to extend these out to at least 5 people that that have kids. Let's start with the people that are the closest to you. Who's the most responsible friend that you have?
Stacy.
Stacy. Okay. Who would be the next?
Megan.
Megan. And who would be after that? All right. So I'm collecting first names first. That's it. Because everybody can think about 5 people off the top of their head. If I had them start going through their phone, getting all the information for each person all at once, by the time that I've gotten 2 or 3 referrals, he's going to feel like he's giving me 20. So I want to get the first names first. First names first. Okay? Then I'll go back and I'll get the rest. So now we're in the next one. So John, the next thing that's been set up with you, or set up for you that comes with the Child Safe Kit program is the AIL Plus card. Based off what you said for work earlier, you're in the financial services industry. I'm assuming you get some type of group benefits through work, right? Okay, cool. Well, you're going to love this because it helps you save money. I mean, my mom's using it. She's saving tons of money because as you probably know, group benefits can change. They can be taken away, but also those group benefits you get through work have major gaps. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is going to fill in some of those gaps by giving you a discount up to 80%. And I'm going to show you what it looks like real quick. Remember, I promised you I wasn't going to play any more videos, but I'm going to show you what this looks like real fast.
After 1 year, your representative will contact you about renewing you for the AIL program active.
What? Where's that?
Chiropractic and more. The program includes discounts for dental, prescriptions,
See? Now look.
eye care, chiropractic, and more.
What I'm intentionally doing
The convenience
is playing that video to make it obvious that I'm skipping things for him, making it quicker. Okay? But also just letting it play that quick part. And I'll say, yeah, so John, basically what it does is it's a virtual card that you'll use wherever you're trying to get discounts, wherever your health insurance doesn't work. Okay? Or wherever this gives a bigger discount than your health insurance through work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, for example, do you know anybody that wears glasses?
Yeah.
Referral. Do you know anybody that wears glasses? Yeah, you do? Okay. Well, glasses are very expensive. And when they break, you got to buy new glasses. And lots of times the insurance doesn't cover all of them, all the expenses of it. So this helps people that have glasses save tons of money. Do you know anybody that takes medications? Yeah. Guess what? If he takes medications, he'll say, yeah, me. Oh, perfect. But he's also going to say, yeah, I know people. Well, yeah, medications are expensive. What am I doing? I'm building it up and I'm showing them like, hey, this is what it does. And you also know people that this would help too. Okay, so that way later when I say, isn't it nice they set these up for you at no cost?
Yep.
It actually is nice. It actually makes sense. He's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, I'm like, people look like lost right now, and I don't know if you guys are like getting what I'm saying, but I promise you, if I were to watch presentations, it's not being done. And you wonder, some of you guys wonder, don't take this guys as a lecture. I'm trying to help you guys make more money, like that, simple as that. But like some of you guys wonder like why you're not making $3,000 a week. It's because you're not doing this. Guaranteed. Okay. So let's stop real quick. Does anybody have questions? Does everybody feel like they can do this exactly the way I'm doing it?
Hey, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Question. So when I've done that right there, where I put in the referrals, I can't get out of it. I don't know if anybody's having that problem, but I can't just put in their name and number. It's wanting the city. It's wanting all of that. And so what I do is I just write them down, and at the end, I put it all in.
Yeah, it makes you do that. So that way, when it goes to your impact, like it's supposed to be in the impact, which nobody does, you actually get the address generated before you even call them.
Right, but I know usually what we do is we just ask for a name and number, and that's it, and then move on. It won't let me do it right there. I have to put all the other information in.
I get all, what I mean by name first, I get the first name first. Because once you've given me the first name, it's nearly impossible for you to take them back.
Okay.
Also, it's very little information. Like if I said, hey, who do you know that has kids? Boom, you got like 5 people on the top of your head. But if I get one at a time and I get all their information down and then I get the next one, by that time you forgot the other 5 you were thinking about. So I can get 5 referrals from you in like 10 seconds. Because I'm getting all the names. It's like boom, 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 boom. Now, if you feel more comfortable writing it down, go ahead, write them down. If this part slows you down, it's okay. But here's the way I think about it. If I get all that information right then and there, and they were willing to go through all that with me, what are the chances that I'm actually going to see those referrals? They go up, they're better referrals. And what are the chances that if we went through all that they're going to listen to me on the second part? Goes up. So it's up to you, but either way it goes, just make sure you're getting first names first, writing them down, then going back and saying, hey, what's so-and-so's number? Okay. Now we're going into the AD&D.
And when you consider that millions of people seek medical attention for accidental injury,
My computer is tripping.
you want to
1 second.
protect partnered with your organization benefit. Beneficiary information. A driver kills lines every day. Mother proves fatal. The accident one is very accident take. You consider that All
right, screw it. Well, the AD&D, I'm like, hey, John, the next no-cost benefit you get is an AD&D certificate. Okay. Now, John, what this is this is an accidental death and dismemberment certificate. Okay. And the way that it works is that if you were to lose one hand, 1 foot, or sight in one eye, it would pay you $1,000. And obviously $2,000 if you were to lose any of those 2. Okay. Now, Mary, for you, this is a death benefit. Should John die in an accident, this is going to pay you $2,000. Okay. Now, look, I know this is not all the money in the world, Mary, but assuming Joe or John died in an accident, like a car wreck tomorrow, I'm sure how you could see how anything would help, right? Perfect. Now I need 2 emergency contacts just in the event of you guys dying together in a common accident. They do need to be over the age of 18, living outside of your home, and in the state of Texas. So who would be the first one? I get the first one. All right, great. Who would be the second? Perfect. Hey, John, it's pretty nice that they set these up for you at no cost, right?
Yep.
Awesome. The best part about it is since the emergency contacts are obviously the closest people to you guys, they're going to get these same exact benefits that you just got with no strings attached. Okay. I just need one favor from you, and I promise I'll make you a promise. Do me a favor, let them know that I'm going to be contacting them, and I promise you I'm not going to embarrass you, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. Now, hey, look, since these were so cool and you guys liked the benefits that were set up for y'all, who's somebody else that we could get these out to? I know you mentioned that you got a lot of coworkers. Who's your favorite coworker?
Tanner.
Tanner? Okay.
Yeah.
Now get more referrals. Okay. Now, John, look, the second part of the program, this includes some benefits that you might qualify for, like I mentioned earlier. And to be honest with you, for me to get credit for doing my job, I'm just going to take a few minutes to go through everything with you and review it. I just want to be very clear that whatever it is you decide to do with the benefits, it's totally up to you. Okay. I just need to explain it all, answer any questions you might have. And I got to be honest with you, if it wasn't for you requesting the child safe ID kit, you wouldn't even have access to these benefits. Okay. Because, we work with 20,000 different associations, credit unions, and all that. And this is when I would pull up this. Okay, and I'll tell them we work with 20,000 different unions, associations, credit unions. We partnered up with all these people, and really, this is just giving you like access to benefits you wouldn't have access to otherwise. Because John, here's the thing: whether you like unions or hate unions, we can both agree that they got great benefits, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And I close this up. And do you guys see how fast this is moving along? Like we're moving, like imagine if I wasn't stopping, we'd be moving pretty quick through it. And then this is when we do the needs analysis. So John, like I mentioned to you earlier, this is the final thing I'm going to do with you. It's the final no cost benefit. This is the needs analysis. And look, every family that I see, they love this benefit. They absolutely love it. I mean, when I personally figured out how it worked, I was kind of blown away on how simple it is and how effective it works. And the way that it works is I'm basically going to ask you some questions. Based off those questions, it may or may not make recommendations. If it does make recommendations, that means I'll have some concerns that I'm going to review with you, and we'll go from there on it. But if it doesn't, then there's nothing to review, and I'll be on my way. This is really great, John, because every family that we see, they have different situations and different concerns. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm clear with you and we're on the same page about it. It's not going to recommend anything you guys don't need, and that's not a specific concern for you and your family. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. It's not going to recommend anything you guys don't need, and it's not going to recommend anything that's not specific to you and your family. And then this is when I would go through the member survey, exactly how it says it on the RGA sales training. Member survey is one of the most important parts of the presentation. All right, so when you're going through the member survey, you want the survey to serve for two purposes. Okay? So basically, serve as a purpose of what I just said. It's like, this is not going to recommend anything you don't need, and it's not going to recommend anything you can't afford. Okay? If you go through the needs analysis and you just ask them, like, what's on the needs analysis, it's not going to work. Because it doesn't make sense how you got this whole recommendation from just asking the way it's prompted on the computer. So I'll plug in like the email and all that for whatever, for the discount card. And then I'm not going to show them the needs analysis, by the way. Not going to show them. I'll just have it closed. So I have it like this. I'll go through. Okay. So so John, like I said, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, but before I do that, unfortunately, you do have to qualify for this benefit, the second part of the program. So before I get started, I have a few health questions I need to ask you. The first one is, have either one of you or anybody in the household been diagnosed with any type of cancer ever?
No.
Okay. Has anybody ever in your family?
Yes.
Oh, really? Who was it?
My
I'm writing
grandfather.
this down. I'm writing it down. I'm noting this. Okay, I'm writing this down. Who was it?
My grandfather.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. What type of cancer?
Man, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Did he make it through it?
No.
Wow. Sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
So the next one, John, is does anybody have diabetes?
No.
Okay. Ever suffered from a cardiovascular disease such as heart attack, stroke, anything like that?
Nope.
Does anybody currently use any type of in-home oxygen equipment?
No.
Anybody ever been diagnosed with a terminal illness?
No.
Alzheimer's?
No.
Has anybody used any type of tobacco in the past 12 months?
No.
This means like hookah, chewing tobacco, cigarettes, all that. So that's a no?
No.
Okay. Have either one of you ever been on probation or parole?
No.
Or have you ever been arrested for anything?
Nope.
Good. Good. So it looks like you should be able to qualify for the next part. So look, John, the biggest concern that families deal with when it comes to handling concerns for their family is affordability. So I just want to let you know that if it does recommend anything for you guys, it's going to be set up based on a 1 hour's wage per week. Okay. Because they figured, hey, plus or minus 1 hour, it's not going to really change your lifestyle. So what would you say a ballpark number is of your monthly income?
4,000.
4,000. Okay. And I know this isn't like typical dinner time conversation or anything like that, but have you guys decided or discussed whether you're going to do a cremation or funeral yet?
No, not really.
No? Okay. That means they don't have anything for it, guys. So there's nothing for it. So I'm good to pitch freedom of choice to them because it's going to make sense. Okay. Then the next question I'm going to ask is, John, benefits that you have outside of work, I see lots of families that have it. I would say about 50% of the time families I see will have life insurance aside from what they get through work, because we both know what happens to those group benefits, right?
Yeah.
Right. So do you have any life insurance outside of work?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, what I just do, I just eliminated the objection again that don't tell me you got group benefits, because we both know what happens to those. Okay. So John, I'll say it again. So, hey, about 50% of the time families I see, they'll have life insurance outside of work because we both know what happens to those group benefits, right?
Yeah.
Right. Change, you're taken away, you just don't own them. Might as well forget about them. But anyways, do you guys have any type of life insurance outside of work? And if you do, what type?
We do. I'm not sure the type. I think it's like 100,000 though.
100. Good. Yeah. Typically, people I see will have anywhere from 100,000 to 500. So you started off good. Do you know how much you pay for it?
I think it's like $30.
$30. Okay, I know what it is. Don't worry. I'm the professional. I know what it is. You guys with me?
Yep.
Next question. These questions, guys, this is a sell in the making. This is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. This is like the setup. This is easily you're closing 4 out of 12. Easily, if you're doing it this way. Okay? Then next is group benefits. So, hey, do you get death benefits through work?
Like life insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I figured based off what you told me that you did, so I'm pretty familiar with those. I know exactly how they work. One question though, did you get what everybody else got, or did you pick your specialized plan?
Okay, I got what everybody else got.
That's typically what everybody does. Which tells me does not know what he has to work. Nobody really knows, guys, which is okay. It's not something that's permanent anyways. It's good to have while you got him, but like I'm not trying to put myself in a position where he's trying to like lie to me and like bullcrap with me. Like we're having an honest conversation. Mortgage. I'm never asking, do you have insurance to pay off your mortgage? Because typically people don't, and they don't have it until I ask, and then all of a sudden they do. So, John, do you guys rent or own?
Rent.
Okay. How much would you say, a monthly rent is?
$1,900.
$1,900. I'll take that $1,900 and I'll multiply it by 48. Well, 91,000. That's what I'm going to put on the balance. 91,000. The reason I will do that is because that's what it's going to recommend on the mortgage protection that I'll just tell him is rent protection. If he's got a spouse, like, hey, this is cost of living for your rent if you were to die. And John, have you guys had the chance to start saving for your kids' college education yet? Yet?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, not much. No.
Okay, yeah, no worries. And the last thing is in total, how much debt would you guys say you guys are, or how much debt do you guys have accumulated right now?
With everything, I would say probably about 40,000.
Okay. We all good? Anybody got any questions?
Where do you plug in the debt?
I don't. I plug it in right here just to have it.
Hey, the rent, shouldn't it be 60 months for 5 years?
I can make it whatever I want it.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I've been doing 60. I didn't know if you wanted us to do 4.
It doesn't really matter. It's whatever you want.
Okay.
Probably best to do 4, make it higher starting off.
Okay.
Reduce down more on it.
Okay. Smart. Okay.
Any other questions? I know some people are confused. You got to say it. Like, where are you at? If you have questions. Raise your hand if now you understand why you should be closing 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4. It should be happening. There's just no way out. The only reason that it wouldn't be happening is because really low energy and you're spitballing all over the place. Spitballing.
Hey,
Okay.
can I interrupt just 1 second? I make sales and I've got questions. You guys have got to have questions. Clayton's taking his time to get us to 3,000 a week or more. Just ask the question. You can't not have anything.
You're not allowed to not have questions.
Ask him. Just take advantage of his time right now. If not, we should all be making $3,000 sales every week or more. And we're not.
All right, so now we've done it, okay? I'm going to say, hey, great. Thanks for that information, John. I'm going to click the submit button and let it generate and see if there's anything that comes up, okay? So I submit it. Oh, shit. I got to fill out email thing.
Hey, real quick, I do have a question that just came to mind. Whenever you are getting all that information for like their life insurance through work and outside of work, are you plugging that in?
The only thing that I am plugging in is his income. And if he tells me that he's got something covered for the funeral and cremation and the mortgage balance.
Okay.
So no, I'm never putting in that they have insurance. It doesn't matter. Now, if I say, John, have you decided cremation or funeral yet? And he goes, yeah, we have a policy for a funeral. I'd say, perfect. Most families I see do. About how much coverage is it? He says 20,000. I'll plug 20,000 into the whole life, so that way it doesn't pitch a full freedom of choice. Because I'm going to look like a dummy pitching to him $30,000 freedom of choice funeral expense when he just told me 5 minutes ago that he has his funeral taken care of. Like, how much sense would that make to him as far as the first thing I'm recommending is something he genuinely does not feel like he needs? When I just told him that needs analysis is not going to recommend anything he doesn't need. So it's actually good when they have something, because when you go into the needs analysis, you can say, hey, it's not recommending that. Remember how I told you it's not going to recommend something you don't need? It gives it more credibility. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, now let's say he's like, yeah, I got $100,000 policy outside of work. It's whole life. I'm like, fantastic. You're about halfway there compared to what most people have. It's like nothing, right? I'm always making it seem like if they have anything, that's normal.
Clayton, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say whenever they say they have
hold on,
already have a paid funeral?
Let me explain this real quick. Okay, so if he's like, I got 100,000 and all that, I'm not plugging it in, but I am spending it in the two job close. And what I mean by spending it is I'm like, hey, the needs analysis took into consideration that you have $100,000. So it would have recommended this amount for income protection, but it tagged on what you already have to it. So instead of 4 years, it's recommending 8. I just spent it. It's gone. It's irrelevant. Because now it doesn't make sense for them to be like, well, I already got that 100,000. Yeah, but look at all these other concerns that you don't have covered.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, I just spend it in the two job. That's all I do. So they tell me they have 100,000. I'm like, all right, memory bank, where I write it down. And let's say that the needs analysis pitches 40 years of income protection. I'll just add that on to whatever he has and include that in it. That's it. Just to remove that objection, like, hey, the 100,000 you have, it's going to be spent. It's going to go toward your income. Now, Ken's asking, what do you say if they have a prepaid funeral or they have that? I say that's what everybody else has. Perfect. Good. One less thing you have to worry about. One thing off the list of many, 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 many things that you have to worry about. So I'll put 15 or 20,000 for whole life down, because then the software is going to recommend like 5,000 or something. And I'll say, hey, typically it would be recommending this, Carlos, but in your situation, it's only recommending 5,000 just as a cushion for when you die. That way it's easier for the family to transition and handle everything. I know you already have your prepaid funeral taken care of. That's why it's recommending this. Does that make sense? Yeah. To him, he's like, yeah, that makes sense. Now I'm letting it generate, right? And what I'm doing now, so if you guys can see this, you see this summary down here? Okay? That means that it's about to pitch accidental hospital coverage, A71, and freedom of choice for $30,000. The reason it's pitching that is because it's just John on here and all that stuff. Oh, and I forgot to put the debt in for the mortgage. So it's like based on all the stuff I plugged in, that's all it has to recommend. Okay. Now, I already know that going into the 2-job close now. What it's going to recommend. Here's what I also know is that the premium that it costs is based off this number right here. So $4,000 a month means that he makes 4,000 divided by 4.3 weeks. He makes $930 a week. Okay.
Hey, quick question. Why 4.3?
Because that's how many weeks average are inside of a month over the course of a year. Who has questions?
Yeah, so you are putting the total debt in or no? Just leave that blank.
There's nowhere to put it. Oh, on a single, yeah. You can do it on singles.
Okay, but for like families, you wouldn't worry about it? Just kind of keep it in your memory bank?
Yeah, right here. I can ask whatever questions I want during the needs analysis. It's what the needs analysis is. But then, hey, John, so on here, wants to know what's your favorite color?
No.
Blue? Okay. It's recommending red. All right, cool. So I'm going to take 4,000. I know what job A income is already now. It's $930 that he makes at job A. Okay. I know that if I take the $4,000 a month that he makes and I multiply that by 5%, the monthly premium for the package it's recommending is going to be $200. $200 a month. That's going to be the premium monthly bank draft for the program. Divided by 4.3. So job B is going to be $46 a week. Who would I lose? Because I already know people get lost at this point.
Can you repeat that?
Peyton, explain that to Ken.
So, Ken, you're going to take what he makes per month, divide that by 4.3, which I think came out to $930. That's going to be your job A.
Job A income.
That's, top of job A. For job B, it's going to recommend 5% of his total monthly income. Okay? So 0.05 times 4, which came out to $46
a week.
So they're going to take that 930 and then subtract 46 from it. That's going to be your job B at the very top.
Okay.
Like if you're confused, then you don't know how the job A, job B works, right? The difference between taking job A, where they're currently at, and taking job B is a difference of 1 hour's wage per week. So he told us his income on a monthly basis, but the way we're going to sell it is on a weekly basis. So we got to put it in weekly terms to him. So 4,000 divided by 4.3, $930 a week he currently makes at job A. Well, the premium is 5% of his monthly income. So we got to get 5% of his monthly income, that's $200. But that on a weekly basis is $46 a week. So 46 subtracted from 930 At job A, he's going to make 883. What in the world is the difference between 883 and 930? Nothing. So we all good? All right. Now this is where it gets really, really important. Really, really important. Hey, John, it looks like there are some concerns that I'm going to review with you guys really quick. Before I do that, they do have this mandatory read-off letter, and it basically explains how the enrollment process works and how everything is set up. Look, instead of making you read this whole thing, I'm going to summarize it for you. Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm still going to show it to them. So I'm going to say, they have this mandatory read-off letter. And it basically explains the enrollment process, how everything works. Look, I'm not going to make you read this whole thing. Do you care if I just summarize it?
That's fine.
Okay. Then I'll exit back out. So John, basically what it's saying is that, like, as if I were to go through the benefits with you, and I'm explaining it, and you're nodding your head, thinking, wow, these are some good benefits. I can see why everybody else is doing it and why they set these up for us. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to apply today while we're on the Zoom call. Okay. Now, on the flip side, if I'm going through everything and you're thinking to yourself, these are really great benefits, but they just don't feel a need for me and my family today, then I'm going to ask you not to apply. Okay. Either way, yes or no, that decision does have to be made today during your service period, and that is today. Just in fairness to all the other members waiting to enroll, okay? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Now, look, whatever you decide to do, like I said earlier, I have no dog in the fight. They still want your opinion on a Google review once I finish. So I want to make sure I do a good job and that I get a 5-star rating. Okay, so stop me if you have any questions. Promise to stop me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Hey, before I go into the recommendation, John, they want me to review these concerns that we review with all of the members that we see. What in the world? I could have sworn I pulled it up. Hold on. All right. 1 second. This is why you got to be prepared for sets. I'm trying to show you guys what happens if you're not prepared. You know what I mean? Okay, now I have it zoomed in, so I can't see all the other ones until I go down. Okay, so John, the first one, the first concern that families deal with is co-pays, deductibles, and lost wages. And the reason that families deal with this is because it's a big concern when somebody's not working. Because John, if you're not working, what are you not doing?
Not making money.
If you're not making money, does that mean the bills just stop coming in?
Of course not.
Of course not. So it's a huge concern that most families could not, bear to deal with. Okay, so that's why they had this as the first concern. Now, the second concern has to do with funeral and final expenses. Now, John, I'm going to be honest with you. Most people that I see, they don't even know how much a funeral costs, let alone have the money saved up. And another thing is that, let's say you owned a funeral home. When would you want the money for the funeral?
Right away.
Right away, right now. And most families just can't come out of pocket on the spot when an unexpected death happens. Not only that, but group benefits, they don't pay out quick enough to cover the problem up front. Okay, so that was a major concern. Okay, now the next thing that people deal with is loss in income. Because John, when you die do you know what dies with you?
My money.
Yeah, your income. It's almost nearly impossible for the surviving spouse to replace the other spouse's hours that they work while doing all the stuff they were already doing before. Okay? And I'm just going through it, okay? Going through it, get down to it. And then the last concern is affordability. Here's the thing, John. I sit down with people that make $7 an hour. I sit down with people that make 77 an hour. And I do the affordability side down. The way I'd set this up, guys, just like it says in the script. Right. This is why I would not recommend 2 monitors. So it says the last concern is affordability, but what I would say is, John, the last concern is affordability, because when it comes to all of these concerns on the open market, it's nearly impossible for families to take care of it while being able to afford it. Okay, and we sit down with people that make $7 an hour, some that are making $77 an hour, some are working tons of overtime, some are laid off, some are retired. They wanted this to be affordable for everybody. And John, like, let's imagine. Okay, do you see how I'm saying it now, John? Let's imagine. You see how I'm saying it? Like I'm coming up with this. Like, let me help you understand this. So, like, John, let's imagine that, you're at work, you're doing your financial advisor stuff, and, your boss comes up to you and he says, hey, things are going really good. So that typical 40 hours of pay you typically get every week, we're going to bump it up to 41. So you're getting paid 1 hour more per week. Now, at that 1 hour, are you and Lindsay going to go to the Ferrari dealership and start checking out matching Ferraris?
No.
Are you guys going to go to, a new neighborhood and start laying out the foundation for your dream home?
No.
Oh, of course not. You're not going to start going on all these different types of luxury cruises and, nice getaway trips and all that stuff, right?
No.
Exactly. Now, on the flip side, let's say he comes up to you and he's like, you know what, John? Things are not going so well. So we made a choice. And that choice is, instead of laying people off, we're just going to send everybody home 1 hour early on Fridays. Okay, so that last hour of the week when you guys are sitting back, flicking rubber bands at each other, waiting until the clock hits, you're going to get off. You get off early. Okay? Now, is that 1 hour cut? Is that going to make you guys have to completely shut down y'all's AT&T iPhone bill?
No.
Is that going to take food off the table? Lucky Charms that Lucas and Liam eat?
No.
No. The idea, John, is that 1 hour plus or minus every week, it's not going to change your lifestyle, right?
Right.
Right. So like I said before, all these recommendations are set up on 1 hour's wage per week. So let me review those recommendations with you. This is when I go through the 2-job close. Okay. Any questions? Anybody need me to repeat anything? If you do, it's all in the script.
Can I just hear your response to, and it's only happened a couple times, like that 1 hour would make a big difference for us?
So when they say that, you should have had an idea that they were going to say that. That's why during a report, I'm like, how's work going? You getting lots of hours? He's like, no, I'm not getting lots of hours at all. I might change the 1 hour analogy to 30 minutes or 20 minutes. Good question. Anybody got any other questions? How much is this helping?
A lot.
Is it really?
Just seeing how it's done and the proper way to do it, yeah.
Do you see how you guys should be closing 1 out of 4? Good.
Hey, Clayton, I have a quick question. So I've had a couple sits where during the list of concerns, people were like, oh, I have short-term disability, so, like the co-pays, deductibles, lost wages. They're like, oh, that doesn't matter. So I have short-term disability or
they feel like you're selling them right there. That's like they feel like you're giving them options and stuff. They shouldn't feel that way. So when I'm going through the list of concerns, you know, I'm like, hey, look, before I go into your recommendations, Joe and Mary, they do want me to review these concerns that members we see have right now. They have serious gaps in their coverage. So the Labor Advisory Board, along with 50 international union presidents, created this list of concerns. Now, look, I'm not saying these are yours, but these are what people are dealing with. Okay, so the first one is this. And I'm not directing it at them, but I am asking them questions to make them answer it. So I'm not like, hey, Nick, what would happen tomorrow with the kids if you weren't able to work?
Yeah, go to school.
Instead of, you know, here's the thing, Nick, you know, when people aren't working, what are they not doing?
Making money.
Making money. If they're not making money, do you think the bills just stop?
Sadly, no.
No, they don't. That's why that was a huge concern. Now, the next one has to do with funeral and final expenses. Nick, most people that I see, they don't even know how much a funeral costs, let alone have the money saved up for it. And if you owned a funeral home, when would you want the money?
Right away.
Right away. That's a big concern because group benefits and other insurance policy, they don't pay out quick enough to cover that concern. So it's a huge, huge problem. Next thing is this. And he goes, tell me what she just said. Tell me, yeah, we got our funeral taken care of.
Yeah, we got our funeral taken care of.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure then the needs analysis probably didn't recommend that part. These are just what other families are dealing with. We'll get to yours in a minute.
Okay.
Like, I already know what they got and what they don't got. I just went over this in the needs analysis. So it shouldn't happen.
Nothing new.
Yeah, nothing new.
Clayton, I've got a quick question. What about, how would you answer a question when somebody tells you that they've got Medicaid and pretty much everything is covered?
You see, guys, I'm going through this with control. Like, I don't get this stuff. This doesn't happen to me because I'm asking the questions and I'm not selling them. I'm not selling you. I'm explaining why these are concerns. So listen to the verbiage and listen to the way it's said. It's said very clearly. Hey, Megan, before I review the recommendations with you, they do have this. They do want me to review these concerns that members have right now. They have serious gaps in their coverage. So the Labor Advisory Board, along with 50 international union presidents, created this list. And some of these may or may not apply to you, but they wanted me to review it anyways. Okay, so the first concern is this. I'm not doing any selling right here. There's no selling happening. So if they're like, I had that, I'm like, yeah, I have no clue what your concerns are. These are just overall concerns that other families are dealing with. There's no selling happening. None. Educating. Create. This is where remember what we talked about? We have to create problems before we can give solutions. So at the needs analysis, we proactively get information and proactively beat objections. Mandatory read-off letter, we're telling them and getting the agreement that you're not going to tell me I want to think about it. Then we do the affordability or the list of concerns where we're creating all of the problems and proactively beating objections even more. And then the affordability tie-down, we're telling them, hey, 1 hour's wage ain't going to change your life, right? Right. Well, I'm about to show you a whole entire benefit package that's on a 1 hour's wage that you'll be able to afford since it won't change your life. Right? Then I said, let me review that with you in the recommendations it's making. And I go through it. Straight on script. So I'm like, So let me go ahead and complete your needs analysis and review what it recommends. So let me review your options using this illustration, okay? I'm a visual person, so I'm assuming you guys will appreciate this. Let's say, Megan, at your current job, at job A, you're making $930 a week. Okay? And we'll call this A. Okay? Now, Megan, let's just imagine you go into work tomorrow, like we were talking about earlier, and your boss comes up to you and says, hey, a new job option that's opened up. It's called job B. And at job B, you get the same coworkers, same responsibilities, same benefits. Everything's the exact same, except you get paid $8.86 per week, which is that 1 hour's wage that we said wouldn't change your lifestyle, right? But that 1 hour is going to eliminate all of the concerns you guys could possibly have. Now, the first concern it's talking about, Megan, has to do with if you were injured on or off the job. Have you ever thought about what would happen with your family and the bills and all that if you were in the hospital for 6 weeks?
Yeah, we've got Medicaid.
You got Medicaid? Good.
Yes.
That's awesome. You know, almost 99.9% of America has health insurance. It's not what I'm talking about. So it's like you guys buy into things that you know they have. We're not. What does the A71 coverage do, guys? How does it work? Tell me.
Get hurt, get paid.
Who's it pay?
You or the client.
Does Medicaid pay your bills?
No.
Does Medicaid fill up your gas tank? Does
No.
Medicaid put groceries in your pantry?
No.
Does Medicaid do anything other than pay the bills at the hospital?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So you guys can hit me with what you guys get hit with, but you're going to be like, oh. So I'll do that and I'll put it in. And I'll say, hey, the next concern has to do with your final expenses, freedom of choice. Now I'm just going to go through and I'm going to fill it all out. Okay. Sorry that I seem frustrated, but it is very frustrating when you've told lots of people to have it memorized verbatim. And if you knew it verbatim, you would know half the stuff I'm teaching you guys. And those people don't have it down. It is very frustrating, I'm going to be honest. Only because I want people to do good. That's it. I want people to do really good. And we beat ourselves up about results we don't get for work we haven't put in. So when I'm going over the funeral and final expenses, when you guys are reviewing the freedom of choice, it's so important that you guys are pulling it out and you guys are showing it to them. You want to be showing it because you want to like walk them through it, right? Like my friend George, when we used to do it in person, he would have them write their like name on it, like during the pitch. Because it was like solidifying that like you're getting this. Like it was so smooth. Like so in the houses, what we used to do is we'd say, hey, this is the freedom of choice. Here, Mary, hold it. And then we would paint the picture to her like what you would do when Joe dies and go and hand it. And I would act like I'm the funeral director. So I'd be like, so you'd hand it to me if I'm the funeral director. Now I'd take it. And then I would say, so on the back, we would have the amount that me and you agreed on that you're going to pay. I would call the company. And even if I called the company and I'm like, hey, I'm sitting here with Mary, her husband Peyton died. How much insurance does she have? The company won't tell them because they'll only go based off what's on the freedom of choice. So Mary, do you see how much stress this would relieve? And Joe, do you see how much protection this would give her at the funeral home? Perfect. You can like add that onto the script. The script's already good. I mean, the next concern has to do with final expenses, freedom of choice. It's been set up to take care of this burden for your family. They're using whole life insurance to fund your freedom of choice. That way it's there when and not if you guys need it. This helps protect any existing insurance the savings family already has. Puts them in control, blah, 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 blah. If you look at the RGA sales training packet, it breaks down the features versus benefits. And the 2017 presentation also has facts about the freedom of choice. So long story short, guys, I'm doing this and I'm filling it in one by one as I go through it. And then we get down to it. And I'm like, you know, we let's imagine we got, you know, this filled out. You know, it's like all messy and stuff. It should be big and messy, big numbers. And little O's over here, you don't have it. Over here, you don't have that. You don't have this. You know, they're permanent and portable, layoff and strike. So, John, let's just imagine you going to work tomorrow. Boss comes up to you again, you know, same boss. And he lays this sheet out in front of you. And he says, hey, look, you get to choose. Which job do you want? Which one would you take?
Job B.
Why is you making more money at job A?
I don't get any of those benefits.
Exactly. Remember I told you it was going to be an easy yes or no earlier? It's literally a no-brainer. That's literally what everybody says. Okay? Because Mary, I'm sure you'd get pretty upset if Joe came home one day and he was like, hey, honey, guess what? We're getting an hour extra of pay on my paycheck per week. All I had to do was chunk out hundreds of thousands of dollars of permanent portable benefits that protect you and the kids when I die. We're getting $20 more. You cool with that? No, Mary, you'd want to divorce him, right? I'm solidifying his yes. I'm making it really hard for him to back out. Making it really hard. Super hard. And then I jump into the QR checklist. And I'm preparing for objections. I'm doing the takeaway at this point, so I'll say, hey, we got to make sure you qualify, go through the health questions, and then when I get to that draft date, I'm expecting objections, and I got them pulled up, ready to go. I'm ready. All right, questions? Who's got them?
Hey, Clayton, whenever you go through the health questions and they qualify, obviously we're on script. When we go back to the QR checklist to go over the first thing, which is draft dates, you gave me a really fire tip. I think it was to the rest of the team that was here at the time as well. Could you go over that?
That's a very good question. And guys, I just want to point out, we're like one of the best teams in IEL, and we're like so close to popping. Like, we're so close to doing numbers and doing things that no other MJ team has ever done in American Income Life history. I want you to think about that. We're like right there, like right there. So like once we all get on the same page, we're executing this the right way. Watch what happens. It's going to be insane. It's going to be crazy. Guys, I'm not like blowing smoke right now. I'm being dead serious. So when I get down, okay, because what we got to remember, right, is that we've been explaining this to them as a 1 hour's wage, right? So they haven't heard or seen what the monthly premium is yet. It'll be a surprise to them if I don't say it the right way. Right? Because hearing, $48 a week is different than hearing $200 a month.
An accident?
Hold on 1 second. And it actually came out to be 117. So if I was going based off 200, it's only even better because it's cheaper. But I got him to agree to a way higher price at first. So it's okay if you're not like so technical about it. You don't want to be nitty-gritty details. because then they start to do that. It's the concept. Okay, so what John's referring to is we get to this part, okay, the draft dates. And I'm like, hey, John, it looks like based off everything that we just went over, you should be able to qualify for the benefits. That's awesome. Great news. I just want to let you know that I'm going to do everything that I can to help this process speed up and go through it fast, so that way you can get all your policy packets in the mail in a couple weeks. There are a few things I need to check off the boxes real quick. The first thing is that the program is set up on a once a month computerized deduction through your banking system, just like anything else you have set up. And you've probably already done the math in your head, but that $48 a week, obviously it comes out to be $200 a month. So I just needed to know, you have between this date and this date to choose what day you want it to come out each month. What day of the month do all of your like big bills come out, like the mortgage and the car payment and all that?
End of the month.
End of the month. So do you want to put this like on this day or somewhere around this?
Around that.
This is do you see my negotiation tactic here? Normally I wouldn't point this out, but that's what it is. Negotiation. I'm getting him thinking about the draft dates and picking a time, the day there versus doing the premium or not. Because we're doing it. There's so many things that have happened that give me a reason to assume this hardcore. He's agreed with everything. He's bought into the 1 hour's wage. He's bought into job B. He's told me he's not going to want to think about it. All that stuff. I've built him up on picking job B, have him sell me on why he's going to do job B, made sure he qualified, all that stuff. Okay. But the verbiage is, you've probably already thought about this, obviously. That $48 a week, of course, that comes out to be $200 a month. No big deal. Like I'm saying, like no big deal. $200 a month. And this can be handled on any day you choose between these dates and these dates. Let me ask you this, John. When do all of your big bills come out? Like your house payment and your car and all that? Okay, do you want this to be like same day? Because lots of people like to imagine like their car payment going up a couple $100, not making a big deal out of it. But also some people like it to be on a different day. So it's up to you. Now there's one of two things that will happen right there at that moment. Who can guess what those two things are?
Objection, or they're just going to go with it?
Oh, we're doing this today?
Are we doing this today? Oh, we're doing this right now? Is the best question you could get.
Can you just further explain why that would be a really good question for those who don't know?
Because he's saying, oh yeah, we wanted to do it, but I didn't know we were doing it right this second. Oh, we're doing this today? Of course. Yeah, you're not going to get your policy packets today, but after we're done, you'll be covered. Yeah. So what day did you want it to come out? Notice how I'm saying that too. It's not like pushy. So what day did you want this? That's nonchalant. What day do you want this to come out? You don't want to come off pushy. Just stay in control. So yeah, he's either going to pick one or he's going to give me an objection. So if he gives me an objection, he'll say, oh, whoa, hold on, I didn't know we were doing this right now. I mean, $200, that's a lot of money. Like I'm not sure we can, swing that right now. I'm like, going to let it sink in. I'm saying, okay, I get it, I understand. Hey, look, if you guys were expecting to come into this to pay $200 by the end of it, I would laugh at you because nobody would think that. But here's the truth, Terrence. Me and you both know that nobody wants to pay for something that's cheap, because something that's cheap typically has no value, right? The thing is, this has lots of value. This is going to be going towards something that allows you guys to have everything you have right now in your life, and that's your income. This is what it's going to protect. Okay. Now, if it's not affordable for you, you think it's too much, tell me now and we'll adjust it. What do you think?
I think everything's good right now.
I do too. I would definitely recommend the same thing.
Let's roll. Let's do it.
Awesome. You're excited. I am too. And I'll tell people, it's like, Terrence, look, I really want to earn your business. I want to make sure you guys are taken care of. But I don't want to put you in a situation where you can't pay your bills and live your life. There's other options we have, but this is the best one so far. We can adjust it. What do you think?
I think everything's good. Let's stay with it.
Okay, good. If it ever becomes uncomfortable for you, good thing is you own the benefits. So you can just call me. We'll adjust it.
Super fantastic.
Any other questions? Okay, I got a question. How do you do this in every single sit other than POS when every sit's a different lead?
You adjust to the lead.
Huh?
You adjust to the certain lead. So like if it's a child safe kit, it's a free will kit, it's generically the same process, but you interchange like the child safe kit for the free will kit. I mean, if they have grandchildren, then sure you can go over it, but it's all pretty much the same.
Turn everything to a union sit.
It all happens up front at the why I'm here. You got to use common sense. So if I'm doing a free will kit, the only thing that's going to change is the fact that I throw in the will kit. That's it. That's all. Everything else is the same. So when I'm going through the why I'm here, at the very end of the why I'm here, I'll add on. So basically, Nick, we typically wouldn't be doing this with you if you weren't in one of the groups we work with. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of exclusive to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to go over exactly what we go with all the members we work with. And if you qualify, you can get all the other benefits that they get without having to pay the dues or be a part of the group. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Now it just became the same.
How do I qualify?
It's almost like it's an open enrollment for you. One shot. You can say something like that. It's kind of like an open enrollment for you right now. Get one shot. If you can qualify, fantastic. We'll see what you can get. Sabrina, for example, had one that was a discount card yesterday. That was a policy that had lapsed close to about a year ago. And what we learned, guys, is that it's all about process. Having a process in every sit that you do that leads to a certain result if done properly. So yeah, it was a discount card, lapsed POS. You can still treat it the same though, because you can say, hey, Nick, the cool thing about this is that you were in the program at once. So you're eligible for me to be able to go through the same exact thing that they did before and see if you can qualify for all the new updates that they made. Okay, so I'm basically going to do the same thing they did last time, starting with child safe kit. Even if they don't have kids, guys, I'm still going to say, hey, Nick, I know you don't have kids, but I'm sure you know people with kids, right?
A ton.
Right. And I won't play the video, obviously, because it's like he doesn't have kids. So it's kind of like, I'm just going to explain the child safe kit and then move on using common sense. Using common sense. If I'm in a union sit, that's the whole reason why I'm there. The first thing that I'm going to do with you, Nick, is I'm going to go over all of the benefits that your union's already had set up for you. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the member survey that's exclusive for you since you're in this group. And everybody loves it because it lets you know what your specific concerns are. The reason that the union does this and works with us, Nick, is because they know you guys get great benefits, but they also know they can't cover everything. Okay, so that's why they have us step in. Then everything's the same.
You kind of have like a little question, because I remember last time you were talking about having like your own discretion on like the type of lead, right? So let's say it's child safe kid. Basically like spending a little bit more time on the child safe kit, right? Instead of like all the other benefits, you know what I'm saying? Kind of, I guess, further explain that to everyone else so that they can understand what I mean and what you told me.
Yeah, I just spend more time on it by using the verbiage that's on the other script. Like when I say spend more time, that means that I slow down a little bit, I emphasize more, and I may paint a picture to them. But what I see, I'm going to show you guys what I see, and I want you guys to see the difference in what y'all have seen so far and what lots of people are doing. Hold on 1 second. They're showing this, and they're like saying a whole bunch of stuff that's not building any value. It's more of like just spitting out information and facts. And it's not really like closing them on anything or selling them on anything. It's just showing them this picture and then talking about kids and stuff.
Yeah, I use the Offender app. I don't know if anyone else uses that as well, and I'll like show them their area as well. Like, hey, dude, you have like 100 of sex offenders in their area. I mean, that's very concerning. You know, obviously.
Sell it. Like, we got to get good at selling stuff, not explaining stuff. So I would be like, hey, Nick, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but do you know how many sex offenders are in your neighborhood?
Not a clue.
Take a wild guess. 5,000. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like selling it. Like, I'm bringing them in. I can't just be like, hey, I don't know if you've done this before, but look how many sex offenders are. Like, it's not the same. It's not the same. So if you notice, there's a structure and a process to everything. So when you're on script, you're like, hey, Nick, the first one is the child safe kit. I'm sure you know people with kids, right?
Yeah.
Right, we all do. I'm going to play a quick video that explains the importance of this, okay? Play the video. The video does the information, the facts, and like sells it. Afterwards, I'm reiterating it, and I'm like, yeah, you know, it's a major problem, and worse yet, Nick, it's not a problem that's getting better over time. I'm sure you're probably just like most families I see, you would want everybody you know to have this kit, right?
Absolutely.
Sell, boom, closed. Good. With that being said, who's the first family we can get this to? I know you said you have a lot of people in mind. Who's the most responsible?
My cousin.
And I'm ready to write. Who?
My cousin Kristen.
Kristen. Okay. Who would be the next one?
My best friend Steven.
Who would be the next one?
My best friend John.
Already got 3 in 5 seconds. Any other questions? It's already 2 o'clock, so you got questions, ask. Has everybody's belief in the script went up?
Yes.
Do you see why Brian's like, how are you guys only collecting 2 referrals per sit? He's like, what? He didn't believe me when I told him. It's like impossible. You get 2 just from the emergency contacts. And somehow we're still crushing it. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Once we all get on the same page with this, y'all's lives are going to get better. ALP is going to be more consistent. But also the future people that come onto our team are going to have a lot more people all on the same page. And it's going to be easier for them to catch on to it and understand it. Okay, because you guys should know, like everything that I'm coaching you right now it's not hard stuff. So it only takes a few weeks for you to really start to get a really, really good understanding of it. And then you guys should be teaching and saying and doing exactly like I just walked you through it. It's not that much. There's only a few things that really aren't in the script. But my advice to you is the simpler, the better. So the less you say, the better. The more you say the script and the more you focus on how you're saying the script and how you're transitioning from one part to the other, the better. Because it's all about, at that point, getting in front of 12 minimum people per week, and you will close deals, I promise. Guaranteed. Terrence, what happened the other day when you had to do your video? What happened the next day? How big of a deal?
13, something like that.
Boom. All right, guys. I guess that's it if nobody has any other questions.
Thank you for the fire, Dragon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clayton.
Thank you.